Hi, this is the Professional Amateur coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out Moon Maidens. And this 2023 film was directed by Fred Olin Kay and stars Heather Vandeven, Frankie Cullen, and Christine Nguyen, among others, of course. The story of this movie is that there's this engineer, and he's designing this satellite to go into outer space. And I guess he does, and then it goes out and discovers some aliens or something. But the aliens don't like that. So what they've done is they have sent these moon rocks back in time. And these moon rocks, if someone touches these rocks, they get possessed by the spirit of the rocks or something like that. And so the wife of the engineer finds these rocks that have been sent back in time to possess people. And so she gets possessed by the aliens, I guess. And now she's looking for the designs for the satellite so that they can, I guess, destroy them so that they never even, come in contact with each other. Along the way, there's also this pair of competitive engineers at their firm. And so they're looking for the designs as well so that they can, I guess, get a leg up on them or, their project can be, more better or whatnot. And so, yeah, it's all kind of in there, I guess. And what will happen? Who will find the designs for these satellites? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss Moon Maidens. Well, with this one, it's just a low-budget kind of sci-fi comedy thing. And I think with this one, it works for what it is. It is also short as well. It's only like 45 minutes. And so just kind of like a silly, fun little story to tell. With this one, I think I've seen many of the actresses before. I think I've seen some of them in the Famalian movies, if you're familiar with those ones. With this one, this is very similar to the Famalian movies. I think it's kind of done maybe with the same production. I'm not too sure. I don't do too much research for something like this. But it's much of like a lower budget kind of Famalian one where they don't even have any sets or anything. They've just like rented a house and maybe an office, here or there. And so, it's fine for what it is. It's a cute little thing. It has a sex appeal to it, and I think that's probably going to be that Famalian kind of pedigree to it. And yeah, I think that's probably what most people are going to go for. You do see nipples here or there, and so that is what you're looking for. That's what you're going for. I did enjoy kind of the shorter length as well. It made it feel much more of like a sci-fi kind of show, like the Twilight Zone or something like that. So if you ever wanted to watch a sexy Twilight Zone episode, this is something to press play on. It certainly has that feel, especially with, the very limited, set of the house. But then just the limitations in the actual kind of effects that they have. Like they only have like a glowing rock effect, and then they have like a little bit of, electricity coming off of a rock. And that's really it. And so it does have kind of this older sci-fi feel to it where you can't do a lot of effects, and certainly they don't have barely any in this one. And it does go to that sex appeal kind of to make up for it, of course, which is always an odd balance. I think it was kind of enjoyable, but yeah, kind of like a sexy Twilight Zone episode, if you will. In addition, because it's so short, it does have to be quite well paced. And I think it does that. It even has like quite a few storylines going on. I think there's kind of like 3 storylines going on at the same time. And because of that, it is quite a lot of things happening all the time. Something's going on. Nothing is really just kind of filler. They do kind of have a few kind of contrived scenes just to have some, sex appeal here or there. But it works. I don't know. It works all just together just to have like a fun, little 45-minute, show to watch. In addition, I do think that this has a certain audience that it's, appealing to. Certainly with this one and it's the sex appeal and everything like this. It's more kind of a male-dominated audience that they're going for. And that is certainly in there. That's certainly very clear what they're going for, especially if you've seen, the Famalian series and whatnot. And so, yeah, so you kind of just know what you're getting into. It's, 45-minute little comedy sci-fi thing with a bunch of nudity in it. Why not? Like, if that's what you're looking for, that's what they got for you. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, with this one, the acting is pretty atrocious from some people. And like I've seen them in other things, like they're not particularly that much better. With this one, I think they're supposed to be like rocks, like the moon rocks possess them, and so like their personality just becomes that of like a sexy rock, and you're just like, okay, like this is some terrible acting. And I guess it works if you're looking at that kind of rock aspect. Like, how would a rock, move a body? Very kind of, stiff and hard like that. So yeah, the acting is certainly nothing to write home about, but you're probably not there for these actresses acting. You're there for maybe their sex appeal, or their prettiness, or whatever it is. So yeah, the acting, I think maybe that's the joke. Maybe that's a part of the joke of it all. Maybe that's the comedy aspect, is that it's not very good acting and they're doing it more ironically. I think they're probably told, to act like this, certainly, but yeah, maybe that's just them being ironic. Also, with this movie, the jokes, I don't know how many jokes there are. I wasn't counting, of course, but none of them particularly were that funny. Like, I guess the joke was kind of more, situational. No, what's it called? Dramatic irony. Like, that these people are possessed by moon rocks, but the characters don't. And so I guess that's kind of where the comedy comes from. And that's not, particularly funny. But I do think you're probably not there for the jokes if you are watching this movie anyway. So yeah, take it for what it is, I would say. As for a recommendation, well, certainly if you're looking for something with sex appeal for 45 minutes, you can't go wrong with this one. And I think that's probably the main audience that's going to go for this one. So if that sounds like you, then yeah, press play on this one. I did also see it on Tubi, so you can go over there and press play. As for rating, well, I'm going to give it the mildly interesting score of 3.4. I liked it enough to follow throughout the whole thing, and at 45 minutes, you really can't go wrong. And so, yeah, the 3.4. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.